Hi, welcome to my channel. Today is the 2nd of February 2023. I like to do a continuing topic on stamp duty for 2022 and 2023. Let me begin. Hi, welcome to my channel. Today is 2nd of February 2023. Video on iMiliki, HOP and RTO. What is after this particular topic that I have spoken about earlier on? This was last year, 2022, and in fact carrying from the earlier one, which is 2020, on the updates on stamp duty exemption. So this is 2023 updates on stamp duty exemption for property transfer. I'm Thomas Sim, PA 2066. Let me begin. So we are going to touch on 2023 budget, which has actually not been passed in the parliament. So as we know, the election on the November 19, we have a new prime minister, and the new prime minister having a short time to pass the 2023 budget. So it only passed a mini budget on the expenses or for government's machinery, but the actual 2023 budget was not passed. So we actually look back to the earlier government by Dato Sri Ismail Sabri, who has presented the first reading on the 2023 budget, which is touching a little bit on the property sector. So let us refer back that particular budget and see probably just 2022 and 2023. New budget 2023 on the stamp duty in more detail. We await for our Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim's new budget. So iMiliki was actually introduced around second half of 2022, but then it carries on until 31st December 2023. So this one we will touch on iMiliki, and this was also presented in my earlier video taking on iMiliki, iBiaya, and then the HOP program as well as the RTO, rent to own. So what happened in 2022 until now, 2023. So let us focus on HOP program. HOP is actually by Ismail Sabri. However, the HOP was actually inherited from the National House Ownership Campaign. The earlier one, National House Ownership Campaign, started by the Perikatan government in 2018. And the time was during the time of Lim Guan Eng as the finance minister, and it was a change of name to Home Ownership Campaign, and this is by the Perikatan national government, Tengku Zafrul. And after that, the Ismail Sabri government with the Keluarga used the iBiaya and iMiliki, inherited from Sri Muhyiddin time. Actually rebranding. In fact, the new government would have to rebrand it in a more detailed way subsequently later on. But then the discussion here is about the actual first read of the 2023 budget. This was presented much earlier in the previous video on the various exemptions and the remission orders that was introduced in the 2019 to 2021, end of 2021. So I can maybe give you the timeline from January 2019 to 31st December 2021. Penjana extended. So this is a timeline, and we have put in various exemption and orders and even the remission orders for easy reference. Now I'm bringing you this extension. That means we want to see after 2021 what happens. So this particular area which I put a big question mark is in fact from 2021 end what do we see in 2022 and 2023. So this is the key part for this particular video recording. So as we are seeing now, the previous talk was stamp duty exemption summarized until September 2021. My previous talk on stamp duty exemption, and then we are looking at the timeline now in 2023, and we have the iMiliki at this moment. The few things that I may want to attract attention is the main one, which we have the 2021 to 2025 first time home buyer, less than 500,000 property, MOT and loan stamp duty exemption. This one is by Tengku Zafrul in the Perikatan National Government until 2025. So this is ongoing. Then we have the new thing, which is actually built on the same one, which later we will see higher than 500,000 property from 500,000 to 1 million, the iMiliki, and then later we will see what are also in place for 2023. So this 2023 is of course not being passed by the Parliament yet. It is still on the table as a discussion. So this is the whole total picture of the stamp duty exemption and remission orders since 2019. So if you remember all this, then you will be able to understand how over the three governments, from Pakatan Harapan government to Perikatan National Government, and now the new government, the Perpaduan government or the mixed government with Anwar Ibrahim. So now we are looking at this for this particular summary for the my delivery of this stamp duty exemption talk. I will talk about 2022 and 2023. So this is budget 2022 on the issue of what is in place for 2022. Of course, this one has been passed in the Parliament and carried out in 2022. So the main part is basically the 6 years onwards, the RPGT go back to zero. Remember in the earlier compressed RPGT talk, I have summarized that there was base year thing, which eventually when a lot of people not happy. In fact, from 2019 to 2020 and 2021, you go back to my earlier presentation on this part, you understand that the base year gave a lot of people paying for the RPGT beyond the 5 years. For 6 years onwards, there was still a 5%. So that part, it was removed in the Perikatan new budget 2022 by Tengku Zafrul. And this was 6 years above. They returned back to zero. No more RPGT. So this is mentioned in the budget 2022 as I extracted in the Bahasa Malaysia. So cukai keuntungan harta tanah bagi pelupusan oleh individu warga negara pemastauting tetap dan selain syarikat mulai tahun ke-6 dan ke atas go back to zero . The next one is the government zoom into giving support on the borrowing. So this is the 2 billion ringgit jaminan kredit perumahan. So it's called the credit cakaran facility that is provided to help borrowers to get loans for purchasing the house. So you can see that in the budget 2022, there was minimum on the stamp duty exemption apart from the 5 years plan for first house ownership. In fact, the 2022 budget actually zoomed into giving loan, this 2 billion ringgit loan in the scheme Jaminan Kredit Perumahan. So we will go into iBiaya later also as a summary in the subsequent slide. So this is the extract from the earlier presentation on iMiliki, iBiaya, HOP and RTO. So I just recap. On the 14th of April 2022, our Prime Minister Ismail Sabri actually brought to this iBiaya the program that is the main emphasis for borrowing. And this is iMiliki lah. So in the KPKT, Kementerian Perumahan Kerajaan Tempatan. And this is zoomed for P40 and the M40 group. We have the three scheme yang ditawarkan, the scheme jaminan kredit perumahan, and then SRP, scheme rumah pertamaku, and after that the RTO lah, rent to own prima. So these are the three that is introduced for the purpose of easing the loan, easing the financing. So it talk about SJKP for few banks, mainly targeted at those who are without payslip, those who are in the category of B40 and the M40 who does not have a payslip, and also those who are buying for more expensive housing, those with payslip, they can go for those houses that is borrowing at the time. Now no more, beyond 500,000 to 2.5 million. So this program now is no more because it was tagged to the housing developer. That means the HOC, Housing Ownership Campaign, by giving 10% discount, then they can buy those above 500,000 to 2.5 million. The scheme which allows developer to sell more expensive houses. So this particular part, the stamp duty for more than 1 million is charged at 3% instead of 4%. So at that time, it was to improve after COVID, more purchasing or more selling of the developer project sale. But that has been stopped after 31st December 2021. So the RTO, the rent to own prima housing, I don't want to go into detail. You can go back to my earlier video to refer to this particular scheme. So the extract from the NAPIC figure first half 2022, which was last year, the first 6 months, talk about iBiaya, iMiliki, and also the RTO, the first home scheme, the 50% exemption for the iMiliki, which we will touch on later. So this is 2022. So in fact, our topic on stamp duty exemption and remission for 2022, we would zoom into iMiliki, mainly iMiliki, because iBiaya is more of a borrowing, so nothing much to do about stamp duty. And I think this afternoon the focus would be on stamp duty. What are the stamp duty and RPGT, probably touching on a bit for the period of 2022 to 2023. So iMiliki is actually a program pemilikan rumah keluarga Malaysia. This biaya iMiliki is by our Prime Minister Sabri, Ismail Sabri. Satu keluarga, satu rumah. So the PUA on this at the time of publication, I cannot get but it was already in the budget, and the budget was passed. So this is by the Perikatan government under Ismail Sabri. So you can go back to my earlier recording, video recording on Fine Way series to look at the earlier ones on the stamp duty before the iMiliki or iBiaya. You can go to my earlier one. This was presented September 2021. So this is the PU, the Pemberitahu Undangan for the 2021 to 2025 first time home buyer. So this is gazetted. You can see for the perjanjian jual beli bagi pemberian harta kediaman disempurnakan pada atau selepas 1st of January 2021, tetapi tidak lewat daripada 31 Disember 2025 So this is the main one by Tengku Zafrul for property less than 500,000 and a period of 5 years. And again, I want to mention how here is only for first-time home buyer who has not possessed or who has not owned any property before. So there is a declaration form which I think you all have seen it with residential use, first-time home buyer 2021 to 2025, less than 500,000, sub-sale or project sale. So this one irrespective whether it is sub-sale or project sale, as long as it is for residential use and for the purpose that you never own a home before. So this is the declaration form. Now I have spoke about this in the earlier video. First-time buyer declaration form. So pemberian harta kediaman berharga tidak melebihi 500,000 pada atau selepas 1 hari bulan 2021 tetapi tidak lewat daripada 31 Disember 2025. Anyway, the iMiliki and budget 2023 I summarize here. Both has not been gazetted at the time of I spoke about iMiliki, and now it should be gazetted. I cannot find the PU lah. So stamp duty exemption for the first-time buyer on the MOT and loan agreement for residential first-time home buyer, developer and secondary market sub-sale. So we understand it is 1st July 2022 to 31st December 2023 until end of this year. This is added to the already existing the first-time home buyer, which is until 2025. So if you look at it, for the property that is below 500,000, sure you can get exemption if you are first-time home buyer. So for the property that is beyond 500,000, it is under iMiliki. So this is 50% for above 500,000. So if you buy a property that is 600,000, 700,000, then you would be enjoying the iMiliki now, because iMiliki is until 31st of December 2023 but it is not like in the case of less than 500,000 you would get full exemption. For those more than 500,000 you get a 50% exemption, but you have to be the first-time home buyer. So if you are the sub-sale market and you are buying for secondary market and you have already bought your house before, you cannot enjoy iMiliki or any other exemption. So you have to pay full stamp duty. Only the first-time home buyer. Government is putting first-time home buyer as emphasis because shelter, as in interpretation, owning a property is a shelter, not for buying for investment or speculation. So that is the basis of why all this exemption is given. So let's say we move on for those beyond 500,000 for HOC, now no more already, as I summarize here. 2022 until now 2023, no more already. However, if it is still below 500,000, yes, project sale, whether HOC or not, it is first-time homeowner, then you will get the exemption 100%. So 2023 budget, which again I repeat, is not yet presented. So this was the Ismail Sabri's budget 2023. So they wanted to give an extra 25% on top of the already given iMiliki 50% to make it to 75%. I put it down here as red color, the 500,000 to 1 million, 75%. Later on we will see in calculation. I'll give you example on calculation. So this iMiliki extended, you can call it iMiliki extended, addition of 25% on top of the 50% which is already in iMiliki. So example, first-time home buyer 2021 to 2025, we talk about the case that you are buying property that is less than 500,000. We put here as 450,000 project sale, first-time owner, stamp duty on MOT. Then how you calculate? You calculate the first 100,000 at 1%, and thereafter the 350,000 subject to 2%, which add up together. The MOT stamp duty is 8,000. Then the loan is the 90% of the 450,000, which is 405,000. The 405,000 loan at 0.5% is 2,025 ringgit. So the total amount of stamp duty payable is 10,025 ringgit. So if you are qualifier means you are first time home buyer, then all this is exempted, no need to pay. 10,025 ringgit exempted, no need to pay. However, if let's say the project sale, instead of 450,000, you are buying a project sale at 750,000, and the case that you are getting the first time home buyer benefit, so they will be using iMiliki. So this one example for iMiliki, 50% exemption on stamp duty. So if you actually purchase today, 2nd of February 2023, your debt is within the iMiliki debt. iMiliki debt is actually 1st of July 2022 until 31st of December 2023. So you are within the effect of the iMiliki benefit of 50% exemption. So this, we give an example. You have a 750,000 project sale house. It can be a double-story house also. And you are looking at first 400,000, 1%, which is 1,000. Thereafter, the 400,000 is 2%, which is 8,000 ringgit. And there again, after is another 250,000 to build to 750, which is at 3%. So the 3% here is 7,500. If you add them all together, it's 16,500. And on the loan, let's say we use 90% of the 750,000, there will be 675,000 loan, and thereby you get a stamp duty payable at 3,375 on the loan stamp duty. So add all in together, the total stamp duty payable should be 19,875. So with the iMiliki, you are first time home buyer, you can get a 50% discount or 50% exemption. So this is almost 10,000, 9,937 ringgit 50 cents. Also, this is a benefit if you are buying at the time where iMiliki gives you this 50% on the stamp duty exemption, you can really save almost 10,000 ringgit here. Now, when we say we look at the budget 2023, what was discussed in the Ismail Sabri budget, which is later no more under the Perikatan government, now is under the mixed government, the Perpaduan government, and this talk about pemilikan rumah in the budget presentation, which zoom into using this scenario another 25%. So they say we give another 25%. The 750,000 house, again, similar to earlier on, total is supposed to be 16,500 ringgit for the MOT, and then the stamp duty on loan, which is 3,375 using 90% of the 750,000, which is 675,000 loan. At 0.5% is 3,375. So the total amount, as I said in the previous slide, also is 19,875. So here you add another 25% if in the budget 2023. So iMiliki 50% plus another 25% from the budget 2023, which is now still hanging. So all that 75% exempted, only need to pay 4,968 ringgit, so almost 5,000. So imagine a 20,000 total amount of stamp duty, you only need to pay 25%, which is about 5,000. So this is a lot of saving, 15 over 1,000 saving. So budget 2023, 0.117 as an example, 100% exemption for property that is 300,000 can save you 6,500 ringgit. Of course, this one we are talking about those below 500,000 property. We gave an example just now at 450,000 house just now. And then if they were to introduce the iMiliki and the 2023 budget at 75% for any of the houses that is 750,000, the saving can be 15,000 ringgit saving. So we get the example just now. So now you can understand these wordings in the budget proposal. And on the part of the extra that is seen in budget 2023, I want to attract your attention to point number 118. It is actually a good thing now the government is looking at stamp duty exemption, similar to the real property gain tax exemption. So we remember that real property gain tax exemption for transfer of property among family members, close family members, is exempted, meaning spouse to spouse, parents to children, or grandparents to grandchildren, the RPGT is exempted. However, for stamp duty, it was only among spouse, that means husband giving transfer to wife or wife to husband, stamp duty exemption of 100%. However, 50% was given for parents to children, and grandparents to grandchildren, the stamp duty is in full, payment in full. So this now the 2023 budget propose that make it similar to RPGT, whereby all the close family members, the stamp duty is in the case parents to children at 50%, make it to 100%, and then grandparents to grandchildren, which was never given any exemption, now also given at 100% exemption. However, at nominal sum of 10 ringgit. So all the transfer of property between family members for stamp duty calculation, it was proposed in the 2023 budget to be only 10 ringgit. So let me read here. Memandangkan kasih sayang antara ibu bapa dan anak tidak mungkinlah separuh, kerajaan bercadang mulai tahun 2023 semua pindah milik harta tanah atas dasar kasih sayang, for love and affection, antara keluarga seperti daripada suami kepada isteri, bapa kepada anak, ataupun datuk kepada cucu, hanya dikenakan duty stamp sebanyak 10 ringgit. So this is nominal 10 ringgit . So these are all proposed only, never was it passed in the government, in the parliament. So it is pending, waiting for the new Anwar Ibrahim's 2023 budget to see whether this is carried out or not. So let me summarize the exemption on the proposed 2023 budget on stamp duty among close family members on transfer. Spouse is no need to pay 100%. Children originally is 50%, and then the parents to children 50%, grandparents to grandchildren is 100%, have to pay full. Now in the proposed 2023 budget, it was proposed that only 10 ringgit. So this is a new thing. We have not seen it being gazetted, or the new 2023 budget under the new government. We will see, we will wait and see. So conclusion for me, this particular summary for 2022 as well as 2023 iMiliki, carrying forward from the earlier presentation that I had for iMiliki, as well as the much earlier one, 2021 September, I did the stamp duty summary for the earlier years 2019 to 2021. So this is a conclusion. 21 to 25, we have the first time home ownership program, the HOP, and this is the HOP for less than 500,000, full exemption for both MOT and loan. And after that, the 2022 in the July, where iMiliki was introduced to include another further 50% exemption for property that is higher than 500,000 to 1 million, and this was extended to 31st of December 2023 until end of this year. And the 2023 budget, which was introduced in the end of 2022, just before the election, proposed a further 25%, so which is added on, it becomes 75%. So stamp duty exemption for those property that is beyond 500,000 to 1 million. So these are the three parts that is involved in the 2022 as well as the year 2023, the changes in the stamp duty. I gave examples in calculation for first below 500,000, which is 450,000 property, the full exemption example, and then I gave another one which is 750,000 property with just the iMiliki, because this year the 2023 is not yet passed in the parliament, so we can only enjoy iMiliki until the 2023 budget being firm and passed by the parliament. Then we only then can use the 75 if there was no change and immediate 25% being added to the 50%. Of course, I would think that the Anwar Ibrahim budget for 2023 would not be copy and paste from the Ismail Sabri's 2023 proposal budget. So as a new government, as a new prime minister, he will want to make changes to the existing proposed budget, of course. So that is the conclusion. Thank you very much for listening in to the updates on the stamp duty. I would like to do just a brief one for what my platform are. E-learning system for board examination under estateagentexam.com, and then we have two advertising platforms. One is Contract to You, IPI index ranking of properties, and the other one is findhui.info, creative way of listing by giving geo location, amenities, and also proximity of listings. This is under findhui.info, and I have my almost 200 videos listed in My Real Property Online, which is a blog for my write-up and also some of my listings. Thank you very much for coming into my channel. I'm Thomasin PA2066. This is my mobile number and the website addresses. Thank you for visiting my channel.